Then we were speaking about average error, and I was telling you how to report errors and yeah, how to report errors. I think you would get one PDF document with around 100 questions. Okay, so you will get one PDF document with around 100 questions. We need to learn how to do. Okay, so we will learn, slowly we will learn. There is just one more thing that we need to learn in this particular chapter. So I will try to take that up and then I'll try to finish that thing up. So 1 minute, okay. Now, before I start, if there's any question that you all have. Okay, let me just check out if there's any question that you all have. Yeah, where sir to get it? They would have put one PDF, homework answer discussion. What was the homework question? How to get material? We will put it up. We'll put it up. We'll send it to you. We can. We'll send it to you. Let me see how they will send. Okay. 2.11 in NCERT. Who will put it up? My system administrator will put it up. We did sums in errors. Yeah, yeah. Good afternoon, sir. In yesterday's class, I understood everything except the box sum. Okay. So we will do the box question again. 2.11 is the question. So let's see. 2.11, 2.13, 14, 19, 11. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, so let's look at this question and then we will slowly we will move ahead. The length, breadth and thickness of a rectangular sheet is given. Give the area and volume of the sheet to correct significant figures. Okay, see, when you find out the area, you're going to multiply both of them. When you multiply them, totally you will get 3 plus 3, 6 decimal places. But in your question, you have only 3 decimal places. So because you have only 3 decimal places, you have to report only to 3 decimal places. Now, when you come to volume, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 decimals in the volume. But the least significant is least significant is having one which is having 2 decimal places. So when you reply the answer to the volume, you will have to reply only to 2 decimal places. I hope you are able to understand that when you reply to volume, you will have only 2 decimal places. When you reply to area, you will have 3 decimal places and not 6. So that's how you go ahead. Now let me just do this box question for you once again. So this is what I was trying to tell you yesterday. Suppose there is a box and this box is 2.300 kilograms. So the moment you say it is 2.300 kilograms, that means if you put it on the weighing machine, it will show 2,300 grams. And it is precise to this point. Okay, the next one, I don't know. The next one, I don't know. So this is precise to the nearest gram. Now, when you look at the other two data, the other two data is 20.15 and 20.17. So the other two data are 20.15 and 20.17. So when I add them, it will become 40.32. And when I add it to this, it will become 2340.32. Okay, but whenever you report the answer should have the same accuracy as the least accurate measurement. Now this is the least accurate measurement. Now because this is the least accurate measurement, my answer should also have the same accuracy. So my answer is 2340. Okay, so when you add all of them, you will get 2340 grams. Now I change the question a little bit. Instead of they saying 2.300 kilogram, Suppose they had said 2.3 kilogram. Now the answer, the question is significant, is precise only to this level. So these two also are non-precise. These two are also not known exactly. So the answer also has to have the same precision as the least precise data. So the question, the answer will continue to be 2.3 kg and it will not be equal to 2.34 kg. Okay, so this is what I was trying to tell you yesterday. If I put it in words, we'll write down that in any calculation, we arrive at the answer by rounding off to the least precise data. By rounding off to the least precise data. Okay, and if you have 2.3 kg and you have 20.1517 grams and 20.15 grams, this is the least precise. So the answer should be rounded off to the least precise data. When we had 2.300, again we rounded it off to the least precise data. So the least precise data was up to the nearest grams. So the answer was 2340 grams. Okay, so the answer was 2340 grams. So this is how you basically work with it. Okay, now let me just see if there are any other messages. Yeah, so that is this 2.300 plus 4. Yeah, is equal to 6.9789. Wrong. Then according to our chapter, the answer should be 6.9. Why did you eat away 9? No. 6 point, see, so according to us, it should be rounded off. So it should be 6.979. The answer should be 6.979. Okay, that should be the answer. How do we get? You will get it. Don't worry. Homework, question discussion. We will put it up. Who will put it up? Okay. If the error in measuring A is 2%, B is 1%, C, find the error in A square. A square is 4. Then B, 4 plus 1 is 5. C cubed. C cubed is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. It is centimeter and meter. Which one? We should see the unit. We should see the unit. Okay, sir, NCERT book is enough to crack the JEE exam. Yes, my friends, I will come back to you one by one. Okay, let me look at 2.11. I am sorry. I seem to have skipped something. Let me look at 2.11. Yeah, okay. This is in meter, while this is in centimeter. Okay, agreed. So it is meter means this is going to be, yeah. So when you convert this into centimeter, it will be, I agree with what you are saying. I didn't observe that there was a meter there. So that is true. You guys create too much of tension for me. I'll tell you. 4.234. 4.234 meter. Yes, friends, we'll all focus. 1.005, 1.005 meter. And then yes, 2.01 centimeter, 2.01 centimeter. So this will become 423.4 centimeter. This will become 100.5 centimeter. Now these two are the least precise data. Now because these two the host muted me too. Yeah, 1 second. I went out. out. Yeah, so this is 4 point, I repeat again, 2.11, question number 2.11. The length is equal to 4.234 meter, which is equal to 423.4 centimeter. The width is equal to 1.005 meter, which is equal to 100.5 centimeters. And the thickness is equal to 2.01 centimeter. So this thickness is the most precise. We don't want the most precise. We want the least precise. So when you find out the volume, the answer should be reported to 1 decimal place. Okay, answer should be reported to 1 decimal place. Okay. Then there was a question asked about the previous one also. My dear friends, one more thing I will tell you is certain answers at the book back are wrong. So please don't go by that. Yeah, so the mass of a box measured by a grosser's balance is 2.300 kilogram. 2 gold pieces. What is the total mass of the box? The difference in the masses of the pieces to correct significant figures. Yeah, different of the masses. Okay, so what is the total mass? So total mass I explained to you yesterday. Don't go by book answer. Some certain questions answers are wrong. So if it is 2.300 kg, and if it is 20.17 grams and 20.15 grams, now this is equal to 2300 grams. Because of this 0.00, all are significant, and this is to the nearest gram. Now when I add 20.17 and 20.15, technically I will get 2340.32. But of this is the least significant. Now because this is the least significant, I will remove this, and the answer is 2340 grams. Okay, that is the answer. There is nothing else. Then the next one is 20.17 minus 20.15. 20.17 minus 20.15 will be 0.02 grams. And the level of significance, both of them are to the same significance. So they are equally precise. So because they are equally precise, my answer is 0.02 grams. And there is nothing wrong in what I am saying. Okay, there is nothing wrong in what I am saying. Okay, so I have written it and given it. If they are saying that the answer is 2.3 kilogram, they have by mistake noted this as 2.3 kilogram and not 2.300 kilogram. And I've been telling you there's a difference between both of them. Okay, so don't worry. What I am saying, what I am teaching is 100% correct. There's nothing wrong in what I am teaching. Okay, so don't worry at all. You'll never got. So question 2.7, can't understand, I'll explain. Sir, in the pendulum question, the answer is 42 plus minus 1 and relative error is 2.2. No need to change anything or round off. No, relative error also I changed. No, I didn't put it at 2.2. Relative error is 2. So we change the relative. Okay, yeah, relative error also needs to be changed to 2. I think we changed it to 2. So 2.2% we wrote and then we changed it to 2. Yeah. Yeah, so coming back to the questions again, 2.11, I explained to you, you please multiply these numbers. I am not going to sit and multiply them for you. Multiply these numbers, multiply when you have to find out the area, you have to multiply these first two numbers. And you have to answer it to 4 decimal places. So you please do it, don't expect me to do. Then when you find out the volume, you are going to multiply all the 3 numbers. Once you multiply all the 3 numbers, then you have to give the answer only to 2 decimal places and not, we have to give the answer to 1 decimal place and not 2 decimal places. So please multiply and make sure that you are getting it. Okay, so that is for you to do, not for me to do. Okay, then 2.17, you are asking 2.17, 1 mole of an ideal gas at a standard occupies this much. What is the ratio of molar volume to the atomic volume of a mole of hydrogen? Yeah, so you have to find out the molar volume. Molar volume is 22.4 liters. It is given. Then atomic volume. Atomic volume they have given. Take the size of the molecule to be about 1 angstrom unit. So you find out the atomic volume. You have to find out the ratio. And then you have to say why is it so large? Because the atom is the smallest undivisible smallest particle. The molecule is the smallest particle. So atomic volume will be much lesser than the molar volume. Okay, so we don't want to get digressed. Least value is in minimum value, then why you take maximum value? Least significant is different from minimum value or maximum value. Least significant is the least accurate value. Okay, if I tell you you got approximately 60 out of 70 in an exam, and if I tell you you got 62.3, which is more precise? So it's 62.3 is more precise. So you have to take the least precise, not about minimum or maximum. Sir, if we have error in measuring, then how they measure diameter? There is an error in that also. That is why they are measuring again and again. Okay, if we have an error in measure, how they're measuring diameter? Same question. Basically, because it's a debatable question, people are measuring again and again. If we were all very confident about it, we would not be measuring it again and again. So when we convert 2.3 kg, it gives us the same thing. You are right, but the preciseness of the instrument is different. The preciseness of the instrument is different. If I just give you a cabbage in your hand and ask you to tell me what is the approximate weight, and you say it is 2 kg, and if I measure it and see that it is exactly 2.3 kg, there is a difference between these two data. The error here can be anything, while the error here is at a different level. So even though you convert it, it is the same, but the precision is different in both the cases. If we have any error in measuring, then how we measure? It's an error, Ashwin. There is nothing that you can say. It's an error. That's why people are doing it again and again. This book back questions are, sir. Yes, these are book back questions. Book back NCERT textbook. Can area be in meter square? Yes, area can be in meter square. If we have error in, okay. Can we convert gram into kilogram and solve? But you can convert gram into kilogram and solve, but the precision should be the same. So it doesn't matter. Precision, as long as the precision is the same, it doesn't matter. I said I'm going to give you 100 questions. There is a worksheet for you which has 100 questions. You have to learn how to work out those questions. Sir, is atomic mass significant with respect to molar mass? No, it is not. Yes, we can convert to gram and gram or kilogram by convert, but the preciseness of the data should not get lost. I am asking you, my dear friends, what do you think is the population of our country? Can somebody tell me what is the population? The worksheet you will get it today. Can you tell me what is the population of our country? So the population of our country is on, all that you can say is approximately 120 crores. Now, if I tell you that, yeah, so it is approximately 120 crores. So now, do you think it cannot be 120.1 crore? Or do you think it cannot be 120.11 crore? So it can be anything. It can be this, it can be this. We don't know exactly. It is not a data that you can find out exactly. So we want to know, we want to get an understanding of what this value is. So this value will not change. I mean, will not, our understanding will not change whether it is 120.1 or 120.11. It is still the same. Okay. So when you have a box, and if you have the box as 2300 gram, you want to write it as kilogram, no problem, 2.3 kilogram. And then you have the grams also you will convert. The grams is 20.17. So when you convert 20.17, so it is not 2.3 kilogram, it was 2.300 kilogram. So when you convert this, it will become 0.02017. So again, you have to report to 3 decimal places. So 3 decimal places means you knock off this. The other one is 20.15. 20.15 means 0.2015. Again up to 3 decimal, you knock this off. So 0.020, 0.020. So when you add them, it will become 2.340. So whether you find out in kilograms or in grams, the answer will be the same. The answer will not depend on the units. The answer will not depend on the units. Then when you convert the preciseness of the data should not be lost. When you convert, the preciseness of the data should not be lost. So understand that. Okay. So my overall take is, please don't worry about it. Just move on, and then answers will come slowly. They will come. Okay. You have to do a little bit of practice. As we work out more and more questions, only then the answers will come. Otherwise, it will not happen. So with this, let us just say goodbye to this and move on. Let us just say goodbye to this and move on. I will just give you one final question so that we will get some clarity about what we are saying. Okay, so here is one final question. Just a minute. Just a minute, okay? Just a second, okay? So here you have A1 is equal to 24.36. B1 equal to 0.0724. C1 is equal to 256.2. This is 1. 2. A2 equals 24.44. B2 equals 16.082. C2 equals 240.2. Okay. Can you find out if A1 plus B1 plus C1 is greater than A2 plus B2 plus C2, or is it less than? A3 is equal to, can you please find out this? A3 is equal to 25.2, B3 is equal to 19.2812, C3 is equal to 236.183. Yeah, can you please find out how these two are related? Similarly, can you please find out how A2 plus B2 plus C2 and A3 plus B3 plus C3 are related? How are they related? So how are these two related? Can you please find out? So in the first case, when I'm going to add all of them, it is 256.2, then 0.0724, then 24.36. So this is 2, 4, this is 3 here, 1 here, 6 here. Then this is 0 here, 1 here, this is 8 here, then this is 2 here. So in the first case, when I add them, I get this much. This is the least precise data. Because this is the least precise data, the answer that I report is 280.6. I round it off. This number is less, so it is rounded off to 280.6. This is the first bit of information. The second bit of information, the second one, you change my color. So it is 240.2 plus 16.082 plus 24.44. So this is this, carry over 1, 7. This is 0, carry over 1, 5, 8, 2. So this is 280 point, again this is the least precise, so it is 280.7. Okay, I rounded this off to 1 decimal place and I got 280.7. Third case, 236.183, 19.2812 and 25.2. I add them. So this will become 3 decimal place. So 2, 4, 16, carry over 1. So this is 5 plus 1 is 6. Then 6 decimal, 5, 0, carry over 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 7 plus 1, 8. So 280, 280.6642. This is also to be rounded off to 1 decimal. So when this is rounded off to 1 decimal, it will become 280.7. So what do you understand? How are they related? So A2 plus B2 plus C2 is equal to A3 plus B3 plus C3. And this is the correct option. This is the correct option. Okay. So this is what is the summary of the concept. This is a JEE mains. This is a JEE mains 2020. In January exam, you got this particular question. This is the level of skill that is expected. But they did not leave you with just with one addition. They asked you to do 3 of them so that you needed to have the patience and the time to work it out. Okay. So here you get it, that 280.6321, because this is 1 decimal place, I am rounding off to the least precise data. So the least precise data gives you 280.6. I took the second one. Again, I rounded off to the least precise data. That is 280.7. Then I took the third one. Again, when I rounded it off, because this was more than 5, it again came to 280.7. So these two are equal and this one is less than this. Please think, work on it. And after you finish writing, after you are clear, then you ask me a doubt, I will solve for you. Okay. So I will wait for 2 minutes for you to work. Okay, so first you understand this fully, you first understand. Okay, then yeah, I'll do 2.33. First you finish it. Yeah, you can record. I have no problem. Duration time for this class, every class will be a 1 hour duration. We have to submit it in a given time. As 25.2 is least significant figure, but you wrote the answer as, yeah. No, see, when you talk about the least, I didn't say significant, I said precise. I'm talking about the precision. Precision means to 1 decimal place. So I'm talking about the precision. I'm not talking about the number of significant figures. Okay, so when you report the data should have the least, the precision should be equal to the least precise data. Not to do with number of significant figures. Okay, it should be to do with the precision. So here Because it is to 1 decimal place, I answered it to 1 decimal place. So 1 decimal place means I'll round it off to 280.7. Okay. Yeah. So average time for one question in the physics portion, there are totally 25 questions. If you do 10 of them, you will get 99 percentile. So for 10 questions, you can take 1 hour. So you can take 6 minutes per question. Yes, 280 point. No. It should be rounded off because this is 0.6. No, more than 5. More than 5. Yeah, you can teach. So I need permission. You don't need my permission. You can record. I have no problem. So it is 280.6642. So, oh, my dear friend, it should be done only when it is 5. Okay, I'll explain to you again. See, it is 280.65. Only when there is a 5, I need to think about it. When it is more than 5, I don't have to bother about it at all. 0.66, I don't have to bother. 0.67, I don't have to bother. Only when it is 0.65, it is unfair to take it to the next level, because then you are going to gain one more. You are going to gain one additional point here, right? So what they have said, for odd numbers you increase, for even numbers you keep it, so that overall it is balancing itself. So that is what they have said. Only when there is a 5, you need to bother about it. Now with the 6, you don't have to bother. It is rounded off to, this will be 280.7. Okay, yeah. Sir, in our NCERT book, there are many things which we have not discussed. I have not finished the chapter. I'm just discussing concept by concept. I'm discussing. So how do I give permission? I have no problem. I don't mind giving you permission. Let me see how I can give you permission. Where do you give permission? You will receive an email when the cloud recording is ready. Cancel. I don't want to stop. Okay, we will bother about this later. Otherwise, it will take away all our time right now. If odd decimal, we have to keep the same number. Yes, provided there is a 5. No, I'm not going to do all those things now. Don't worry. I will change after that. I'll give you my admin's number. You call him up and then you make him do all those things. Yeah, we'll talk only about studies. I don't want to talk about anything else. Yeah, so this is it. If you have any questions here, let me know. So I'll start teaching you something which you guys won't understand. Then you will not have to think of other things. Okay, so that all your time will go in trying to understand. Yeah, so 5 is over. Now let me go to the next concept and let's work on the next concept. Yes, so somebody asked me 2.33. If we have done it, we will do it. Otherwise, we won't. We'll come there. We have not yet reached there. Those are for you to think, not for me to think. Okay, so it's done. So as of now, what have I discussed with you? I have discussed this concept of dimensions. I have explained to you that every physical quantity will have some dimensions. Maybe we can look at 1 or 2 questions here on dimensions and then work them out. Initially, there will be some questions on dimensions. Yeah, there are some questions here. Okay, anyway, forget that. Don't worry. So I have discussed dimensions with you. After having discussed dimensions with you, I discussed significant figures. After discussing significant figures, I discussed rounding. After discussing rounding, I discussed about errors. Okay, but I did not do much of the theory of errors. If you want to discuss some theory about errors, if you want to discuss some theory on errors, we can discuss some theory. I'll just tell you briefly about all of them. So we may want, if you want to make a note, you may make a note. So we can write down. So we can write down errors are of two kinds. Okay, systematic errors and random errors. Systematic errors and random errors. So if you are okay with it, I'll quickly explain to you so that you can read it on your own. So systematic errors are those errors which will repeat itself in every data that you collect, every measurement that you make. So that is why they are called systematic errors. They'll always be there. So what kind of errors can be systematic errors is in your instrument itself. In your instrument itself, if suppose that data, suppose we are trying to find out the boiling point of water, okay, and that boiling point of water, which should be at 100 degrees centigrade. Suppose on your thermometer it is marked 104 or 102 or something. So every time you take a data, every time you can make a measurement, you will be writing it as 102. You will not be writing it as 100. So that is an error which is happening in the instrument. So that is called an instrument error. Then imperfections in the experimental technique. Suppose I tell you that to convert from Fahrenheit to degrees centigrade, you have to add 290. So you add 290, but in reality, you have to add only 273. So now this is a error that you are doing in the procedure. So there might be procedural errors, there might be instrument errors, and there might be personal errors. Personal errors can come because of some lack of proper setting of apparatus, carelessness, then again parallax error. Somebody was explaining that when your eyes are not at par with the measurement that you are making, and you are making it at an angle. So these are all referred to as systematic errors, instrument errors, imperfections in experimental techniques, and personal errors. Okay, so these are all systematic errors. Systematic errors can be overcome by you trying to evaluate or look into the procedure that you are following to do the experiment. If the procedure that you are following is right, or if you can improve the procedure that you are following to do the experiment, you can avoid systematic errors. Then you have random errors. Random errors, the one error that you can make is a least count error. Okay, so least count error. Okay, so you have random errors, and then apart from random errors, you have the least count error. Least count error is a typical error, which I would also put it as a systematic error, because suppose you have a scale, I give you a scale, and on one side of the scale is centimeters, on the other side is inch. But for some reason, you don't know that inch is bigger than the centimeter, and then you think that this is the inch scale. And you think that each of those lines is 1/10 of an inch. So the least count that the instrument is making is not 1/10 of an inch, but it is 1/10 of a centimeters, right? So there is an error that you are making with respect to the least count. So that is a third type of error. This is just theory. They won't ask you this question in your exam. I have never seen this question in an exam. In fact, I even don't know. I'm just trying to read out and make up some kind of a story for you. So you read this on your own. Okay, nothing else there. Then absolute error, relative error, percentage error, I have already explained to you. Okay, so yeah, so this is what I have to add to you. Let us do one or two more questions, and then we will move on to the next concept. The next concept is a very difficult concept. In JEE, every year you get one question. In JEE Advanced also you get one or two questions, which is about vernier caliper. Vernier caliper and screw gauge. Actually, these are two experiments. These are the first experiments that you will be doing when you go to your college. I mean, when you go to your school or college in the 12th standard, 11th standard, these are the first experiments that you will do. They'll teach you how to use a vernier caliper and how to use a screw gauge. So we will talk about these in the next class. We won't talk about these now. Today, what we will do is we will just do one more question, and then we'll feel happy about it, and then we will see what more we can do. So here is a question. Actually, we'll do 2-3 questions. So question 1, the error in measurement of length is 2%. The error in measurement of time period t is 1%. What is the error in measuring the time, gravity in a pendulum experiment? In a pendulum experiment, given time period t is equal to 2 pi root over of L by G. Given time period is equal to 2 pi root over of L by G. Tell me what is the time period of the given pendulum? What is the error in the gravity of the given pendulum? I have told you what is the error in the length. I have told you what is the error in measurement of time period. I am asking you what is the error in the measurement of gravity. Okay, what is the error in the measurement of gravity? So the way we go ahead with these questions is first understand that we want to find out gravity. So we don't want to find out time period. So you have to change this such that you get gravity. So if I square this, I'll say that t squared is equal to 4 pi squared L by G, or I can say G is equal to 4 pi squared L by T squared. Now this is the formula for gravity. If this is the formula for gravity, what is the error in measurement of length? 2%. What is the error in measurement of t? 1%. So t squared will become 2%. So 2% here. So what will be the answer? The answer will be 4%. So the error in measurement of gravity is 4%. So that's how you go ahead with it. The error, yeah, the error in the measurement of gravity is 4%. So that's how you get it. Yeah, okay. So if you understand this, let me check if you really understand this. Yeah, I'll explain again. I will give you those worksheet. I will send them as an email to you. I have most of your email IDs. I will be sending them as an email to you. Yeah, I am not able to give permission right now. After the class is over, I'll give you permission. Okay. Yeah, I'll explain again. See, I said that time period t is equal to 2 pi root over of L by G. Yeah, t is time period 2 pi root over of L by G. Okay. Now, I am asking you the error in measurement of time period is 1%. The error in measurement of length is 2%. I am asking you what is the error in measuring G. Okay. Now, the way you go ahead with it is you first find out what is the formula for G. So I am squaring it. So t squared is equal to 4 pi squared L by G, or G is equal to 4 pi squared L by T squared. Do you understand this? So if G is equal to 4 pi squared L by T squared, then my question is what is the error in measuring G? Now I told you whenever quantities are multiplied or divided, errors are added. So here I take the error in L, add the error in 1t plus in 1t, because t squared is t into t. Now the error in measurement of length is 2%. The error in measurement of t is 1%. The error in measurement of t is 1%. So the overall error will be 2 plus 1 plus 1. So 2 plus 1 plus 1 will give you 4. So the overall error in the measurement of gravity will be 4%. So this is how you work with it. Okay. Why t square means what? When you square it, can you get me a formula for t? Get me a formula for g. Pi is a constant. On constants, you never make an error. Okay, so those of you, so when I don't understand why I should explain again, but anyway, I will tell you. See, time period is equal to 2 pi root over of L by G. Okay, now it is an experiment designed to determine G. That is why I am asking you what is the error in measuring G. So if it's an experiment to determine G, you have to get your formula for G, not the formula for T. So to get the formula for G, what do we do? So first I square it. So if I square it, it becomes T squared equals 4 pi squared L by G. Now I need a formula as to what is G. So G is equal to 4 pi squared L by T squared. So if G is equal to 4 pi squared L by T squared, then you want to find out the error in measurement of G. 4 pi squared. Pi is a universal constant. So there is no error. No error in measuring pi. Similarly, there is no error in measuring 4. So the error will come only in the measurement that you make. What are the measurements that you are making? You are making the measurements for L and T. So that is where the errors will come. But T is being multiplied 2 times. Because T is being multiplied 2 times, the error in measurement of T will become 2 times T. 2 times it is 1 for us. So 2 into 1 is 2. So the error in measurement of T squared is 2%. The error in measurement of length is 2%. Now the concept that I told you is that if physical quantities are added or subtracted, if physical quantities are added or subtracted, the errors are added, the relative errors get added. So I understand this concept. Based on this concept, the total error will be error in measurement of small g will be 4%. Okay, so the total error in the measurement of small g will be 4%. Okay, so it is equal to 4%. So that is how you go ahead with it. Okay. Okay, then next question. the error in measuring gravity is 4%. The error in measuring length is 2%. What is the error in finding time period of a pendulum? What is the error in finding time period of a pendulum given t is equal to 2 pi root over of L by G? Given t is equal to 2 pi root over of L by G, the question is what is the error in finding the time period of the pendulum? So here, let us understand that the error in measurement of gravity is 4. The error in measurement of length is 2. So total error in L by G will become 6. Now because of the root over, it will become half of 6. Half of 6 will become 3. So the error in measuring t, is 3%. So the error in measuring t is 3%. So that is how you work with it. Okay. If the error in measurement of A is 6%, the error in measurement of root over of A is 3%. The error in measurement of A squared is 12%. Okay. So this is how you do it. So the error in measurement of A power 3 by 2 will be 3 by 2 into 6. So that is 9%. In all these cases, we are talking of relative error. So we are talking of relative error. Whenever we add quantities, it is not relative. Add or subtract, it is not relative, but it is only absolute. But in your syllabus, they won't ask you addition and subtraction. They will ask you only multiplication of quantities. So you should know what is the error when quantities are being multiplied. Root over 6, I am not saying root over 6, it is half because of the exponent. Because of the exponent, it is becoming half. I explained to you, when it was a square, what did we do? 1 plus error whole squared. So that is equal to 1 squared plus 2 times error plus error squared. Error squared is small. So it is being multiplied 2 times. So same way, if it is a power half, it will be multiplied half times. Okay, so that is how you are getting. You all have to write notes. You all have to read. Now we can't keep saying all the time how. We can't be saying because I don't know. I will tell you. If you ask me what is root over of 1.06, I will tell you in a minute. It is equal to 0.97. That is it. So I have improved my knowledge, so I am able to do it. Now if you guys keep saying how, I don't know. So the logic for this I will tell you. So I am thinking in my head, what is a plus b whole squared? So a plus b whole squared, I am thinking a squared is 1. 0.06 is 2ab, and then there will be a 0.06 is 2ab, and then there will be a b square. So a is over. So a is 1. So 1 over. So 2b is equal to 0.06. So what is b equal to? 0.03. So this is equal to 1 by 1.03. Now further I am thinking. So if you see 1.03 into 97. 7 into 3 is 21, carry over 2, 7 1 7, 9 3 is 27, carry over 2, 9 1 9 plus 2, 11. So 7 3 is 27, carry over 2, 9 zeros is 0, 9 1s is 9. So when I add them, it becomes this much. So when you multiply them, so in my head, I'm thinking 1.03 into 0.97 is equal to 0.9991, which is almost equal to 1. So I think 1 by 1.03 is equal to 0.97. 1 by 0.97 is equal to 1.03. I can't ask how and all these. These are tricks that I have developed for myself because I want to crack exam. If I tell all my tricks to others, then others will also start cracking exams. So I don't want to do that. Yeah, so when I number, see, this is 3 more than 1, this is 3 less than 1. So 1 by root over of 1.06 is 1.03. Because of the root over, it has become half. So now because it has become half, when I do reciprocal, it will become this much. So this 0.97 will become 1.03, and this will be plus minus here if this is the error. So if it's the plus minus here, it will become minus plus. So the error is the same thing. That is why whenever you divide or multiply, the errors get added. There is no change in the error. Similarly, when you do root over, it becomes half. When you do cube root, it becomes half. When you do cube, it becomes 3 times. So it is not the, so the question as to how root over this became this, no, that is not the case. Okay. Yeah, these tips and techniques you have to learn. You have to learn and you have to work. Okay, so when I was your age, when I started my binomial theorem, lot of these come from the binomial theorem, but we did not learn it that way. What happened is, the first day when we went for our classes, not first day, sometime the teacher gave us a small bit of paper, and then he gave us 5 calculations, and we had to do those 5 calculations on that bit of paper. So he wrote something like this: 3.432 into 2.197, and then again 3.4172 into 283.4. Like this, he wrote 4 calculations: 462 into 981 and 749 into 841. So he said, in this much paper you do, you can't use the backside. This is the only thing which is there. This is the only thing which is there. Now he said, you do these calculations and get back to me. So we had to work it out. So this is 2, 16 plus 6, 22. 2 carry over 2, 18, 24, 24 and 48 is 72. 2 carry over 7. 9 into 6 is 54, 61, 61, 91, 93 carry over 9. 9 into 4 is 36, 36 plus 9, 45. So for the answer for this one is 4, 5, 3, 2, 2, 2. Answer for this is like 9, 36, 45, 5 carry over 4. 9 into 8, 72, plus 4, 76, plus 7, 83, 83 plus 36. So like that you have to work out. We worked it out. We took through 2 days to give the answer to him. But after we gave 2 days, after we took 2 days to work it out, then he realized that these are the guys who are going to work and get it. I don't have to spoon feed them. Trust me, spoon feeding will not take you into any IIT or NIT. Okay, so you will have to work on it. So if you work on it, you will get it. Okay, so yeah, so that is it. So what I'm going to do now is we will work. This is my number. You will be getting it by email. You will be getting your worksheet by email. If you don't get it, message me. After you don't get it, not now, you wait till 7 o'clock. Before 7 o'clock, you will get it. If you are not getting me, then message me. I will see how you can get it. Okay. So this is my number. If you can message me, I will give it to you. Tomorrow's class, we will be working with vernier caliper, screw gauge, and we will try to understand what is this concept of least count. Okay, what is least count? We will want to know. Okay, so we will learn all these things in tomorrow's class. Okay, yeah, bye. Yes, I have done a lot of videos in physics there. Okay, you message me, I'll correct it. Okay, okay, yeah, bye, bye. Yeah, you can get it for maths also. Yeah, I will slow. Yeah, I will. What? Okay, learning was easy there. Yeah, here it is little difficult. Here it is too much of tension. You are asking lot of questions. See, all these are neatly. Okay. Okay, fine. Bye. Yeah, I did in chemistry also. I've done lots of them. Yeah, you follow these classes, you are getting trained. Yeah, what do you want to know in quantum physics? Message me, I'll do. Will we do spirometer? Yeah, we will do. Is it needed? It's not needed. Yeah, okay, goodbye.